So here's the thing. Here in Australia, we face an inflation crisis, a cost of living crisis, a housing crisis, and an energy crisis. Families are struggling to pay their mortgages and their power bills, while their grocery bills soar higher and higher. We'll talk about the price of eggs doubling literally in a moment as well. And we know it'll all get worse. Recent polls show more than 60% of us expect to face more financial hardship in coming months. And we're right. And with all this going on, the Prime Minister is overseas. And what's worse is Anthony Albanese is overseas, making it worse for everyone back home. He's doing the opposite of what he promised to do, the opposite of what he should be doing. That is, remember, he was supposed to get power prices down and ease the cost of living. But in Germany, he's done something that will make it all worse. He's signed up to Chancellor Scholz's pet global warming project, the Climate Club.
Australia and Germany are now united in our deep commitment to tackling climate change, and I commended Chancellor Scholz on his development of Germany's Climate Club and was pleased to confirm that Australia will join that high ambition initiative.
The Climate Club sounds harmless enough, doesn't it? All lovely as we band together to save the planet or something. Except it's all about accelerating emissions reduction action. The very action that's done so much damage to our economy and has created our energy crisis in Australia. This cosy European Climate Club is all about carbon pricing. As this G7 communique explains, it's all about our ambition to reduce emissions, such as through explicitly carbon pricing. Yep, it's about carbon prices, carbon taxes, and making sure that all countries impose them, and that if they don't, they face tariffs on their exports. That's what Albanese has really signed up to here, the push for a global carbon price. And if you don't believe me, you know, because I've had such strong, consistent views on this stuff, perhaps you'll trust the Green Left ABC that you pay for. The ABC's explainer about the Climate Club says it's designed to help jawbone emissions lower by pressing governments to put a minimum price on carbon. There you have it, plain and true. But of course, on air at the national broadcaster, they get on the same activist types from the Climate Council to tell us it's all wonderful. Still, listen carefully and they bell the cat on the global carbon price.
And Germany, as a deeply industrialised nation, one which has had a carbon price for a long time, is very interested in the rest of the world joining that playing field that it is on and making competition more fair. It's very much in Australia's economic interest to join this club to make sure that we decarbonise our industries as well.
It's very much against our interest because, of course, as you just heard there, Germany has a carbon price, so it wants its competitors to be in the same boat. And like lemmings, we sign up so that we can continue to hurt our economy in favour of China's and India's and presumably Germany's. And listen to one of the reasons the Climate Council thinks it's all so wonderful.
Look, you know, the comparison of how Australia is viewed today as to where it was just prior to the last election. I mean, I was at the last COP, and the previous COP you had to almost hide if you were if you were an Australian because we were viewed as a pariah on the world stage. Now we're being embraced by other countries.
Oh, it's the Climate Club, all right, isn't it? Just listen to that. Sounds like a supper club. The climate activists get to love it all up with their fellow activists at the climate conferences, and we just get stuck with the higher power prices, the energy shortages, and the economic uncertainty and weakness that all this will bring. And the killer stuff with all of this, of course, is that there won't be any benefit to the environment, no shift in global climate trends, because global emissions will keep rising, with countries like China, India, Indonesia and many others continuing to expand and strengthen their economies while they massively increase their emissions. Ah, the Climate Club, backslapping in Europe, cheering each other as the CO2 bubbles rise from the very best French champagne. This is a club happy enough to welcome any country that's silly enough to want to be a member. And now that's us. I don't remember that election promise.